Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree here today. We're going to talk about the reports that there appears to be a new Goku Black coming into the game. Whether or not I think that's going to be a Rose, we're also going to talk about a supposed future Gohan. So anyways, if you guys enjoy, of course, hit that subscribe if you're new for more content. So the reason why I'm talking about all of this is the vJump. So the vJump leaks have come out, so that's pretty much confirmed information. We are going to be getting a new Goku Black and a new future Gohan coming into the game. But I also do want to point out that they don't mention specifically whether it's going to be a Super Saiyan or base future Gohan. They also don't mention whether or not it's base Rose or base Goku Black, or Rose. Now, the thing about the Goku Black situation is if you've heard from some people, they'll say it's Rose for sure. Other people will say no because it doesn't even say in the leaks, and I feel like that would be something that, you know, we would definitely know, right? Based on the leaks that we have, they would definitely kind of just mention, oh, hey, this is Rose, considering it's the first one we'd be getting in the game for sure anyway. But again, if you ask anybody, you'll hear conflicting things, so we just have to wait until the actual scan comes out. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. We're also going to compare that situation, those characters, to what we have pre-existing in the game. Also talk about how those characters impact certain teams and certain setups as far as the game is concerned, of course. So going ahead and taking a look at what we do know is coming for sure is it's funny, the vJump has had pages leak for various games, but when it comes to Legends, apparently this is a two-pager or something, but the information we get is stuff that most of us don't really care about that much. Okay, so we have this scan with all of the Legends Road units. If you're wondering about this, why this is a thing, all of these events are apparently coming back. Now, the Goku is just here, but apparently he's coming back as well. If you're also wondering why this is important, I guess, in terms of the developers, why they care about this enough to literally devote a page to it, they are basically at a point now with the game with these characters where they've released a full circle's worth of colors of characters to be represented on the Legends Road tag team. So these units buff various things, but among them, of course, they're meant to be used on a team called Legends Road. So we have the blue Trunks, who's a transforming unit. We have the original Legends Road, the Goku, Kid Goku. We have Gotenks there, the green one. We have the red Goku, who's recently came out. And we have the purple Great Saiyan. So we have every single color represented, barring black and white, which I don't think, or dark and light, excuse me, that I don't think we'll actually even get characters for in the future, but who knows. Anyways, so that being said, that's why the team is technically quote-unquote complete. They're going to probably allow for another limit break or more Z-powers, things of that nature. Also, the ones that I believe they've all come back since the level limit rose, but if they haven't, they'll definitely be coming back with the intent of allowing you to finish soul boosting them with a new grid and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure they've all come back since with that intent anyway. So yeah, we've had this come out, and that's pretty much it. So, courtesy of Goresh, I want to go ahead and take a look at what he says, and then also what Paige says over on the Dragon Ball Legends Reddit page. So, we have Legends. So, future Gohan with both arms who forces enemy switching. I just want to pause there, and I want to point this out. They make it a point here to even note that the Gohan has two arms. They don't even note that the Goku Black would be Rose. I feel like this is definitely a base Goku Black. I don't know why it's important. Oh, actually, never mind. I know why it's important to kind of notate that he's got both arms. It's because other than, I think, Dragon Ball Z Buchigiri Match, which is a current game, it's actually about to have its anniversary. A couple months late, probably not to coincide with Legends, but current game. Other than that, I think the only other game I know of off the top of my head that even has a one-arm future Gohan is actually like Dragon Ball Z Sagas. That's like it. And that is such an old game. That game came out when I was a little kid, like 7 or 8, something like that, 9. Actually closer to 10. Anyways, that being said, game is old, and they don't actually produce Gohan with one arm. Sometimes he's limp. So, yeah, there we go. Future Gohan with both arms, and he forces enemy switching. Forcing enemy switching is not a new mechanic, of course. There have been various characters that have come out in the game, most notably like Broly characters that are able to do that, but it's still amazing utility. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Also, Goku Black with sustained damage cut and has counters. So, he has a counter mechanic. So, of course, the most recent counter unit, I believe, is the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. We've been getting counters, I guess, kind of sprinkled in and out of some of these units that have come out, or some of the releases, excuse me, of units. We're going to take a look at what Paige says over on the Dragon Ball Legends Reddit here. She notates here that new future Gohan, he'll have a counter similar to Super Saiyan Vegito. Oh, okay, so similar to, if they, okay, this is where I'm saying, like, okay, so they're getting this information from this website, which is very good at leaking information from the vJump. Similar to Super Vegito doesn't directly have a counter, Super Vegito has, maybe this is a typo and she meant Gogeta. That would make more sense because Gogeta actually does have a counter, the red Gogeta. But Super Vegito has a covered knockback. So that's a little bit different. And he also doesn't take any damage on it. So it's a little different, assuming it's a strike card. And he can also force a swap. So yeah, force switch on the enemy. We did get that. Unit that gets hit and forced out will have to wait extra counts before it can come back in. And yes, he has both arms. I love how that. Okay, so a little bit more info here than what Goresh said. The unit that gets forced out will have to wait extra counts before it can come back in. That's a very important thing. This is devastating because one of the main things to do in this game to avoid losing characters and be defensive or things like that is to kind of utilize switches effectively, right? You see me a lot of times in my gameplay videos, I manage into a switch and then I try to eat up as much clock as I can so I can do that again, rinse, repeat. Your switches are one of the best, in fact, pretty much the only major form of defense that we have as a player, right? There are other things, but that's the most important thing. And then that's pretty much it. She doesn't actually even talk about the Goku Black thing for the most part, from what I can tell. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and go back over here. But yeah, so Goku Black, who apparently has Sustained Cut, and a future Gohan who forces switches. So let's talk about Goku Black. Now, this is the original Goku Black that's in the game. He came out, what, Black Friday? So anyways, he's quite old. He definitely needs a buff, I'd say, but that's not for me to decide. So Goku Black here is a unit that has access to the Saiyan tag and the future tag. That's pretty much it. So he doesn't really have a lot of flexibility. Also, you could make the argument he should have been on the God Key team or with that tag, but the reason why is generally because he isn't actually utilizing it, even though he's in Goku's body. He's not using it, so I guess that's what it is. Because I guess technically that would be similar to base Goku's being able to be in the God Key tag just simply because he has it. I don't know what I mean, it's Zamasu, but it's Goku's body. Anyways, that being said, if we get a theoretical Rose, he will definitely be in that tag, right? But if not, it's going to be a similar situation to this. Now, this unit was a range focus unit. I would like to see a unit that has actually some melee focus as far as Goku Black is concerned. Now, the reason why I would like to see that specifically is because I'd like to switch it up a little bit, because if we can be in a position where we run both Goku Blacks on one team, I would like to have more flexibility. You know, they can work both as ranged. That'll work just fine. But I'd like for a little more flexibility personally, especially because when you look at the future tag list specifically, there's actually a lot of strike attack buffers. If you have the Z abilities, you are able to buff actually, with this setup, you don't really need that too much. But this Trunks teen, I believe, is a base strike attack buffer. Yeah, he is. This Free Trunks is a strike attack buffer. The future Gohan is a strike attack buffer. You've got access to a number of units. And also, Zamasu is a strike attack buffer. I'm pretty sure he gets regen at 5. Yep, there it is. So, like, he's a base future buffer for strike attack. Like, there's a lot of strike attack buffing. And Zamasu himself is a melee type unit, so I would like that to be what happens with Goku Black ultimately. Now, when it comes down to Goku Black, another thing I'd like to see potentially is some sort of Zenkai boost mechanic, because that's one of the things that Goku Black is famous for, pretty much. They don't have to directly call it a Zenkai boost, right? But they could give him some sort of unique that allows for him to get stronger after he takes a set amount of damage or things of that nature. They kind of did something similar with the main, but don't really want that. Anyways, that being said, on this unit anyway. But again, I'm talking about an entirely different Goku Black. This one's just up just so I can see some of his information. All right, so speaking of Rose, if we do get a theoretical Rose, he would definitely have this tag. I don't know if he would be a buffer for this tag, but the more the merrier. That being said, in the future, this tag is going to explode with new units such as UI Goku and other characters. But for now, I'd like to see that. Now, if you ask me what type of color I'd like for him to be, I'd personally like for him to be green or yellow. And the reason why is because, green or purple, excuse me. Now, personally, I'd like it to be green the most if I'm solely considering the God Key team. The reason why is because Beerus is not spectacular. He's really not that good if you don't have Whis, pretty much, despite him having access to the best equipment item individually in the game. His Awoken Equip is that. That being said, and I don't think they have any interest in buffing him anytime soon. Literally, I don't think they have any interest, which is why they produce equips like that. But that being said, Gohan has a really good one too, and he definitely doesn't need a buff. That SS2 Gohan Legends Limited. Anyways, so yeah, I would like to get a new green unit just because, man. And also, he's Legends Limited. It would be nice to be able to pick up a unit on the regular banner that could have a blast attack and defense type of buff just to replace Beerus or anything else, really. It could be double attack. If it's double attack, that's insanely good. Strike and blast for God Key, that's crazy. But anyways, I like a green unit. The reason why I said yellow as well, not because God Key needs it. They don't need a, not yellow, excuse me, man, purple. They don't necessarily need a purple. it wouldn't hurt to get another purple. They only have one, but they don't need it. One thing I noticed was Zamasu is a red unit, right? So I would like for Goku Black to either be color counter for Zamasu. So, for example, by being green, the blue units that would punish Zamasu can get punished by Goku Black. In this case, that's Goku Black right there. It looks pretty different. In this scenario, if Goku Black is purple, he'd be weak to a yellow, and then Zamasu can punish them. You get the point. That's one thing I like to see as far as those characters are concerned. They need to make Zamasu and Goku Black synergize very well. Like the previous Goku Black and Zamasu, they don't really synergize very well. Anyways, that being said, we're going to go and move on and take a look at the future Z ability. Now, this Z ability is one that I think is going to get the biggest buff because it will be picking up a couple of new units. As far as the color is concerned, I think it's pretty fair to say one of the new 2 units will be a purple unit, specifically because this tag actually does not even have a sparking purple unit yet. They've got a lot of units, I guess a good amount of units. Not a whole lot, but a good amount. And a number of Z ability buffers. They started working on this team. Okay, so they dropped it with Goku Black, and then retroactively added the future tag to Trunks and Cell cards. And then a few banners later, dropped some more stuff, and then kind of just left it. They haven't dropped anything new here for the most part for a while. So obviously they're going to come back here and apply some new stuff. So I'd like to see a purple sparking just to have that full color circle, just like we were talking about the Legends Road units. So again, Goku Black can be that, and it fits just fine. But if not, Gohan is fine too as an option. Now, if we go ahead and take a lock at Gohan's, again, they don't mention whether he's base or Super Saiyan. Part of me wants him to be base just because the base one here is solid. He's pretty good, but I don't have a reason to use him, especially if you have I don't think that you have any reason to use him whatsoever. And that's unfortunate, but it's the reality, right? But if it's a Super Saiyan, he would have access to the exact same tags here, which this unit has some good tags. He has Sun Family, Hybrids, Super Saiyan, and Future. All of those are good tags he'd be able to probably slide into pretty well, especially if he's just like this Super Saiyan Gohan, assuming that he is a Super Saiyan, right? If he's just like this one and actually has a double boost for hybrids, that would allow for a lot more flexibility. I don't think Sun Family is even an option for a Z ability boost from that guy, but it's just fine otherwise. So one thing that's good about this character here that'll allow for this character specifically on the screen right now to be relevant for a while is his ability to apply buffs to KO'd allies, right? Strike attack up, increase draw speed, yada yada. He'll be good for that for a very long time, right? So you can just use him as a sacrificial character. Now, I don't think that the new Gohan will get something like that per se. I really do think there's a good chance he's a base Gohan, but that'd be really, really cool to see, right? But anyways, that being said, I don't think you'll get anything like that in particular. So if you're looking for a replacement for that Gohan, the yellow one, you don't really need that anyway because you can use the units on the same team anyway. But if we go ahead and take a look at Hybrid Saiyans, over the course of the last few months, Hybrid Saiyans has picked up pretty much this entire top row here. And there are some good candidates in this list of Hybrid Saiyans Z ability buffers that are going to get buffs eventually. Kid Gohan, Super Trunks, and eventually Goten and Trunks, even though I guess they don't really need it with their Z abilities. They're good anyways. They do need it for their kits, though, specifically. Super Saiyan Trunks here, he needs it. You know, like, there's some units in here. Purple Goten, like, there's some units that are going to get it eventually. But it doesn't hurt to get more options. But I do want to point out that there are some other options that this category will get access to. Speaking of like Dragon Ball Super Gohan cards or other variants of Goten and Trunks and just stuff like that. And of course, they're going to reprint the same characters from the Buu Saga. They also haven't done Great Saiyaman SS2. Like, there's some more options for this in the future that are going to come down the line. But again, getting access to another hybrid wouldn't hurt. And of course, as far as the team is concerned, I don't really think you need access to another unit because these top 3 and then this one by extension work just fine. But one thing that Hybrids has made its bread and butter out of is being able to be splashable alongside the Sun family because a lot of them are the same characters, right? So you're able to kind of utilize that stuff. So again, maybe you don't want that because there's Trunks in here and he's not a part of that family, but regardless, it works. So other than that, Super Saiyans, I don't think Goku Black will have this simply because despite it being, well, okay, if we look at manga continuity versus anime continuity, despite it being his Super Saiyan form, right? In the anime anyway, because in the manga he actually does utilize SSJ. It's not going to be here, especially because the SSB units are not in here, and that was just SSB is literally just Super Saiyan with the power of God. That's it. So it's not in here, so that's not going to happen. But I will say the Gohan, if he's in here, he will come in and maybe have a good spot on this type of setup. But if you look here, there's a ton of Super Saiyan characters and not very many Super Saiyan buffers. I think that it would actually be a really good opportunity if it is a Super Saiyan Gohan for him to have access to a Z ability for Super Saiyans, because that was one of the original Super Saiyans. If you go back to the continuity of the series, as far as like what we saw, right? We go to the history of Trunks. By that point, there's only been a few Super Saiyans we've seen, right? So that's really cool. I think that's a good opportunity. And if he doesn't get it, that'd be a bit of a missed opportunity. So ultimately, I've gone through all my speculation. Just to summarize, I think it'll be a base Gohan and a base Goku Black. In that case, it might be at least decently skippable. I personally would love for it to be Rose. I just don't think that's the case, simply because it's not notated there. And I feel like if they had the liberty to mention he has 2 arms, then holy crap, you can't miss a detail and say it's Rose. They wouldn't do that. I don't think that's the case. So we'll see what happens ultimately. I could be entirely wrong, but I would love for, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd love for it to be Rose. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe if you're new. Check out Goresh and the Legends Reddit over on Twitter as well. And I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.